Hello everyone, this is Defense Politics Asia, and this is the summary. This is the summary for the day of 761 for the 25th of March. And press the like button, subscribe, and yeah, ticker it, just ticker it is enough, you know. And for those that are not subscribed, do subscribe. And we're gonna start off with the frontline changes report. And first one is over at the Chasiv direction at the Bakhmut front. The Russian forces have been pushing in the direction of Chasiv. This settlement over here, this small little neighborhood here, is called Novoye. So they are now getting closer and closer. The latest frontline change, the update is based on Russian mapping. It shows them taking most of the field. Apparently, there's some kind of a stronghold at this position, which the Russians have taken over. And now they are going to take this next tree line and then head closer and closer towards Novoye. So we will continue to monitor and see how this progress. And another frontline change is over at Novomikhailivka. So according to Russian mapping, yesterday we mentioned that the Ukrainian mapping have updated to show Russian forces advance a lot and capturing half of Novomikhailivka. Russian mapping have acknowledged this frontline change. And in fact, they have added more, including the entire industrial area in this northern part of Novomikhailivka. So this is the frontline change over at Novomikhailivka. As I mentioned, this position is unholdable for the Ukrainian forces. They have to redraw and bounce out from this area here. And this seems to be the case. So we are actually correct again. So that's all for the frontline changes report. We're going to go on to the strategic and tactical reporting. So the first thing first is the big news over the past 24 hours. Russia struck the SBU building over in Kiev. Just to add a caveat to this thing, the Ukrainian side say that it is a civilian building. But based on the Russian side, they all insist it is 100% a SBU building. According to to RIBA, they claim that the building looks nothing like a residential building. I personally don't care. But according to military summary, the geolocation, they claim that it is a Kinzhal strike. So feels like an overkill using Kinzhal, but sure. Let's see how this goes. And whether any of these SBU officer got killed. According to RIBA, the pro-Russian source, they claim that yesterday, on the day of the strike, was the day of the SBU. So the assumption was that there will be a lot of officers all gathering at the building, which is why the strike was chosen. And perhaps they use the hypersonic is because then the people will not have chance to run away, because the hypersonic is super fast. And the reaction for the air defense, or the sirens, the radar will all struggle to deal with it. So we shall see how this goes. Over at the Kherson front, there is no updates. There is no fighting being reported along this Dnipro River. According to the Ukrainian Defense Ministry, they say that there is no attacks being reported. Over at Zaporizhia front, this is the Zaporizhia front, the situation continues over at the Orikhiv sector, which is over here with the Russian forces this time round, not attacking at Robotine, but in the northwestern part of Verbove. Fighting is also reported in the southwestern part of Bilohirya, which is interesting. Bilohirya, they specifically said southwest. Information actually comes from the Ukrainian Defense Ministry, as they said southwest of Bilohirya, and that is a bit weird, because they might as well just say Novoporovska. So southwest seems to be a bit weird. So we shall continue to monitor. And so this northwestern push of Verbove will continue. There is a geolocation FPV drone strike, dropping an FPV drone drops grenade. That sounds a bit weird. Anyway, there's a grenade drop on Ukrainian forces just off this position, signifying some actions in this area here. And that's all from this area. Oh, there is something more. Northeast of Orikhiv, there is a Lancet strike on some I think Ukrainian tank. Yeah. So the location is Shovona Krasnisia. And over at the Huaypole sector and Melanivka, there is a helicopter guided missile strike on some some positions within Malinivka. So this is not the first time Malinivka getting hit by this kind of guided missile. So it's very interesting. Over at the Donetsk front, this is the Donetsk front. At the Donetsk front, there is Russian attacks being reported at Staromayorsky, over at Novomihailivka, and at Krasnohorivka. So there is a lot lesser reports because I think because yesterday we did report onto the yesterday's Russian report. The Russian Defense Ministry's today's report will still be another 2 hours away. So which is why I'm not waiting. And so this is the strategic situation. There is the frontline change, of course, over at Novomihailivka, as mentioned in the frontline changes report. So Russian forces have taken this industrial zone as per expected, and the Ukrainian forces will find it really hard to hold this tree line. I believe they will fall back because this tree line in this area here. So how do you reinforce the forces over here? You have to go one big round, right? You have to go one big round. So you going through the field feels like a death trap. So I think the Ukrainian forces in this area will have to, I think they will have to withdraw from this area here into more defendable and more resupplyable positions. I don't think they are able to hold that position. So we will probably see more frontline changes over the next 24 hours. So moving on, there's no new updates regarding Krasnohorivka. So that's about it over this area here. Over at the Adivka front, Russian forces are reported to have attacked Berdyachi and Pervomaisky. The lack of reporting also have to do with Deep State UA did not publish their report. The Ryba's report also very minor. There's not much things. So which is why it doesn't look like there's a lot. There is geolocation by Deep State UA showing Russian forces presence around this area here on the western part of Donetsk, corroborating this advance by the Russian forces in the westerly direction. So that's about it over for the Adivka front. There's nothing over at the New York front. Over at the Bakhmut front, the Russian forces are attacking at Klishchiivka, and there is geolocation of Ukrainian forces getting hit as they try to evacuate Klishchiivka. Russian forces are also pushing in the Bodanivka region, particularly, of course, towards Chasiv in this westerly direction. So that's all from the Bakhmut front. There is nothing else. The push towards Minkivka looks like it's a one-off. There's nothing. There's not really a push over here. Looks like it's just a probe. Moving into the Siversk front. At the Siversk front is a bit more interesting. Russian forces, as usual, attacking Bilohorivka as well as Rodolivka. And the Vasily region, there's some changes. Previously, the Ukrainian Defense Ministry's report says fighting at Vasily. In the latest report, fighting north of Vasily. There is a slight change in terms of the terminology, which means that the Russian forces may have secured the region around the village, and they are now pushing into the hills, which is why it's in the north. And this is where the Ukrainian forces strongholds are. All these are all peanuts. I mean shit. No, I mean stronghold. Yeah, look a bit like shit. Anyway, yeah. So these are very formidable strongholds. They are all on the hilltop. These are all hills. It's a series of hills. So I think this is going to take a long time for the Russians to clear out this position. So anyway, we will continue to monitor. This is a very, very peculiar change. We will wait for the next 24 hours to see if there's any mapping that can provide from our sources to signify the changes. At the criminal front, fighting continues over at Yampolivka and Terny, with geolocation of Russian forces confirming the front line is actually correct. It's still correct. There is no frontline changes though, and that's all from the criminal front. And we move on. There's nothing at the Svetoe front. Over at the Kupiansk front. At the Kupiansk front, no fighting being reported at Sinkivka. Very weird. But fighting is reported at Ivanivka. So this report of Ivanivka only happens in the morning report by the Ukrainian Defense Ministry. It's not reported in the evening report yesterday. So yeah, we will continue to monitor. Usually the fighting at Ivanivka is very one-off. So that's about it at the Kupiansk front. There's nothing over at the border regions. So that's it. So this is the summary for the day of 761 for the 25th of March. Smash the... can I think of something more creative? Medivac the like button and press the subscribe button. I'll see you guys in the next update.